Hey there, I'm Austin Bradley, and today I'm going to give you my 2024 State of the St. Louis Cardinals address. The Cardinals head into the 2025 offseason with a record of 83-79, a second-place finish in the National League Central, tied with the Cubs for second. And just outside the wild card, they missed it by 6 games total. It was better than 2023, but not much. And according to most Cardinals fans, it might as well not have even been better than 2023. Let's be honest. It was all season long we were seeing, this is worse than last year. I don't agree with that. Oh well. Let's start by taking a deep dive or a look at what the 2024 season was for the Cardinals. To be blunt, it was a down year for Paul Goldschmidt. It was a year that Willson Contreras missed a ton of time when he was having a heck of a season for the Cardinals. And it might be the worst season of Nolan Arenado's career. And I think that he would probably agree with that. Arenado finished hitting .272 with 16 homers, 71 RBIs. He did play in 152 games, so he was durable, but that might have hurt him a little bit. Arenado will not be pleased with the way this season was, but neither will Paul Goldschmidt, who hit .245 with 65 RBI in 154 games. He hit 22 home runs. He was the team leader in home runs, and most of the time, if your team leader only hits 22 home runs, you're going to struggle, and boy, did the Cardinals struggle. They did have some bright spots, though. Guys like Sonny Gray, Ryan Helsley, who won Reliever of the Year. That was announced today. John King pitched 60 innings to the tune of a 2.85 ERA. That's pretty good. Mason Wynn showed up and showed out that he is the shortstop in Major League Baseball for years to come, at least we hope. And it looks that way. Burleson broke out. He hit 21 homers, a career high. But one player that really struggled to stay in the big leagues all year, and if the Cardinals are going to have any sustained success in the short-term future and long-term future, is Jordan Walker. He only played 54 games at the big league level this year. That can't happen. Jordan Walker is 21 years old. I understand that he's young, but as a guy that's supposed to be the future, he's got to be able to stay in the big leagues. He's got to be able to get better at pitch recognition, and if he does that, he'll be just fine. The problem with Jordan Walker, and the reason that he spent the majority of the season in AAA, is just because of that. He was unable to recognize pitches out of the hand, and he was flailing away at anything down below the zone. That was the Cardinals' 2024 season. They want to turn the page on it. I want to turn the page on it too. They did not re-sign, or they did not pick up options for Kyle Gibson. They did not pick up options for Lance Lynn. And it doesn't look like Paul Goldschmidt will be a Cardinal next season either. They did not tender him a qualifying offer. They moved Willson Contreras to first base. It looks like Goldschmidt's time with the Cardinals has come to a close. He won an MVP in 2022. Of course, that's going to get overshadowed because he didn't win a playoff. He didn't win very much in the playoffs. He and Arenado didn't do anything together, and that sucks, but it is what it is. I feel like he had a great tenure as a St. Louis Cardinal. We got to see him hit his 300th career home run as a St. Louis Cardinal. Of course, like I said, he won the MVP in 2022 with that just monster season. I'll never forget him hitting that home run in the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. It was truly something to behold that year. Good luck to Paul Goldschmidt wherever he ends up going, whether it's, rumors of Houston or wherever it is that Paul Goldschmidt ends up. I hope he has so much success, because as good of a baseball player as he is, he seems like an even better person. So where do the Cardinals turn to now? We've heard about this youth movement as John Mozeliak gets ready to step into his final year as the president of baseball ops before Chaim Bloom takes over. We've heard of, who could be sold off. Ryan Helsley, who was the reliever of the year, like I said. He had 49 saves, pitched to a 2.04 ERA. Will he be with the Cardinals? Will they re-sign him? Will they let him walk? Sonny Gray is possibly on the trade block. We hear that Arenado could be on the trade block for this new youth movement. Guys like Jordan Walker, guys like Victor Scott, Mason Wynn, maybe a Thomas Sajaci, Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, these younger guys that are ready to make an impact here. But I would say this for the Cardinals. Don't set yourself farther back than you need to. Okay? And I don't think trading Arenado is a great idea. I think you have, if not the best reliever in baseball, or closer reliever in baseball, the second best reliever in baseball, in Ryan Helsley, and that he's still young, and that you should re-sign him. I think Wilson Contreras at first base it depends on how you're going to handle the Burleson and Baker situation. I think it's about time for one of them to step in, though I do want the Cardinals to keep Contreras. I think you signed him 5 years to be a catcher. He probably should be behind the dish. But I think that if you trade off guys like Arenado, guys like Helsley, Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras, even though it's very unlikely now with him being moved to first base and saying he wants to stay with the Cardinals, it's very unlikely that he's going to be moved. I think you set yourself way back. I don't think that Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker and Thomas Sajaci and Victor Scott and they've got other guys, J.J. Weatherholt down in the minor leagues, Lucan Baker. I don't think those guys are ready to be everyday Major League Baseball players just yet. Some of them are. Mason Wynn is. I think Jordan Walker will be come season time, and I know Thomas Sajaci's tearing it up at the Arizona Fall League right now. But I don't think they're ready just yet. I think that they need that veteran leadership in the clubhouse that they're going to get from a Sonny Gray, that they're going to get from an Arenado or a Contreras. And even if the Cardinals were to go this route, which it doesn't look like they're going to, bringing back Paul Goldschmidt on a one-year deal similar to Matt Carpenter, I think that while some would disagree, I think that that's something that Paul Goldschmidt would be at least willing to talk about. I think he's realistic in the fact that he's getting up there in age and he's not going to produce at the same levels that he once could. I think he seems like a realistic guy that can understand that. I'll be interested to see if maybe that's something they approach. But you can't sell everything off because 2 seasons in, the Cardinals fans are brutal. They're not going to watch. And they showed this year they're not only not going to watch, they're not going to go to the ballpark. If the Cardinals do this big sell-off and they're like, oh, well, give us 3 years and we're going to be competing again, Cardinals fans will tune out. They won't care. Because to them, it's showing that they don't care. And by they, I mean John Mozeliak, Chaim Bloom, the DeWitts. And I kind of see where they're coming from. This is a team that was in the NLDS, the NLCS, the World Series every year, and now 2 years in a row they've missed the playoffs. And the last playoff series they had was an utter freaking disaster. I completely understand why Cardinals fans would struggle to tune in. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, what they do, who they let go, who they bring back. If they bring anybody at all in from free agency, if they, I'm intrigued to see what they do because these are not decisions, again, especially trading a guy like an Arenado or a Helsley, that are going to affect the Cardinals in 2025 and then it's over. These are decisions that are going to affect the St. Louis Cardinals franchise for years and years to come. Who's going to be that closer if you trade Ryan Helsley? Is Ryan Fernandez ready to step into that role? Okay, what's with if you trade Sonny Gray? Who's going to be the ace? It can't be Miles Michaelis, right? It's not. Andre Palante's not ready yet. Matthew Liberatore has thrived as a reliever, but been pretty bad as a starter. Are you going to spring Gordon Graceffo? Are you going to spring Michael McGreevy into an ace role? Their first year in the big leagues? Are you going to spring Quinn Matthews up quicker than he's ready, or Tink Hence? These are the situations that you put yourself in. You can hurt a player more when you bring them up before they're ready, because you're going to hurt them mentally. If Quinn Matthews comes up, and gives up 4 taters in his debut, it's going to be really tough for him to get up and get excited 5 days later. I mean, I'm worried that the Cardinals are going to set themselves back a lot further than they need to, and I think that starts. They would start that with trading Arenado, and it's going to spiral. It's going to be another situation like Tommy Edman, where you have a leader, you have a valuable player that he's going to get better. He's not getting up in age where he's not going to produce. He's going to go to LA, or he's going to go to New York, or he's going to go to Boston, or wherever it is you send him to, and he's going to mash and mash and mash just like he's always done, because if you know anything about Arenado, he is probably in the lab as I'm making this video. That would not shock me at all. So no, you don't trade Nolan Arenado. I don't think you trade Ryan Helsley. You don't. Sonny Gray is requested to stay. Keep those. If you trade everybody else, if you trade Paul Goldschmidt, if you trade Brendan Donovan, if you trade Newt Barr, keep those guys, because those guys, you've got Sonny Gray, a veteran starter, you've got Ryan Helsley, a veteran leader, and you have Nolan Arenado, who is not only a veteran position player, he's one of the best in the game. So that's my thoughts on the St. Louis Cardinals. It'll be interesting to see what they do over the coming weeks and months at the winter meetings and all of that. But yep, there it is. That is my 2024 state of the St. Louis Cardinals. Thank you.